What is going on, y'all? This is your boy Saint Irving. Today we got our doggo captain, puppet master, Sajin Komomura. We're gonna be breaking down his techniques, his stats, and even where his lore references come from. But first,
run that shit back!
Sajin Komomura is described to be the captain of Division 7 in the Goten 13. He is a strong man with the largest physique in the Goten 13 and one of the oldest friends of Captain Kaname Tosen. His Zanpakuto is Tengen, and with a command of Roar, able to do devastating blows with a Mio. Tengen, which attacks with a giant sword, can be used at any distance, close or long, and can cover up for his low mobility. His Bankai, Kokujo Tengen Myo, boosts overwhelming reach and attacking power and has the power to decide the outcome of a fight. On the other hand, if the fight is not decided within a certain time, the Bankai will be cancelled and the performance of the technique will decrease, which is a weakness. So you want to make sure you don't miss the opportunity and go for the win while Bankai is active. They're actively saying, hey, this is your trump card. This is not a, I can be in this state forever. You have to make sure you finish them off with your Bankai, or else you are going to have a hard time. It's not saying that you can't win, but you're definitely going to be at a disadvantage. When you look at Sajin, his ease of use is a 4, so he's a 4 out of 5 star character. Not too difficult to pick up, but he's going to take some understanding. His attack is a 4, speed is a 1, his range is a 3, durability is a 5, and technique is a 2. He makes perfect sense. When we look at his Heavenly Punishment release, it's basically his signature move. It's his setup. The first time he uses it, it's a preparation move, and then the second time he uses it, a giant sword is thrusted with Tengen. The giant sword attacks a wide range, and it is possible to catch opponents at a distance, meaning you can be at close or long range with this, and if anything, if you like, you can possibly even hold this back, and when you're ready, do a surprise attack. With Spiritual Pressure Technique 1, he summons an arm from the Myo and charges forward, sweeping the front. Even if you receive an attack from the opponent in the middle of the technique, you can ignore it and attack forcefully. Now, because it says can, and I've seen it in 2 different translations where it still says can, I do have the feeling that it's not a definite. It's not a, it will always ignore an attack. Depending on the attack might possibly hit and even do damage. It does seem that you have armor, so most attacks, like a quick attack, will likely just be ignored. But you have to take into consideration there might be some techniques, maybe even spiritual pressure techniques, that can do damage and in fact go through your divine punishment. With your spiritual pressure technique 2, you're going to be swinging down the giant sword of the Myo. He nullifies the opponent's guard and deals great damage. It has a long range and destructive power that can easily break through even the most well-protected of opponents. Essentially, this is going to be a very heavy-handed fighter. He may be a little bit slow, but what he makes up for is his power and durability. In a sense, he works very similar to Yamamoto, being like a puppet master powerhouse. By releasing his Bankai, Kokujo Tengen Myo, his attack range and power are greatly enhanced, his attack becoming a 5 and his range becoming a 4. He gains immense power that overwhelms his opponents, but his Bankai will be released if his spiritual energy is depleted or a certain amount of time has passed. After his Bankai is released, he can no longer use his unique technique of Tengen, and it becomes difficult to attack opponents at a distance. Now that we've read the battle data, let's go over just what that actually means. In his Shikai state, Sajin is basically in his perfect form. He's already very strong, he's very durable, his only issue is that he's just a little bit slow. So really, Shikai is his best form, until you really just need an extra advantage. So when you know you really just need to seal the deal, that's when you go in for the kill, and you activate Bankai. In the meantime, you do see that you can do some regular attacks not involving your Shikai at all with some regular Zanjutsu. So he does have some sword techniques he can just bust out, and that's probably likely his auto combo. But then he might have some techniques that involve his Shikai, but it seems like they might be reserved to his spiritual techniques 1 and 2. It seems to me that you still can use your spiritual techniques 1 and 2, which is a plus, because if not, it seems like it would be somewhat of a disadvantage to not be able to use any of your spiritual energy. But there is a weakness in where you're no longer having your signature move once you lose your Bankai. So there is somewhat of a drawback. There is an obvious weakness that you have. This was very reminiscent to when Kaname explained that he has a symbiotic relationship with his Bankai. While it is his biggest advantage, it's also his biggest weakness. If he is damaged, so is his Bankai. And in this way, the way he was able to be translated is that if he loses his Konpaku, then upon, not dying, he's damaged enough to where he cannot release Bankai anymore. Essentially, it's like he's died, and now, he still has a little bit of life, but he can no longer use or sustain his Bankai. That's kind of what I'm interpreting the way that they've done him, is that, hey, I don't have enough spiritual power to maintain my Bankai. I've sustained too much damage. I can still do a Shikai move here and there, but I can't really bust it out like I want to. And Kaname references that, you don't expect most people to even withstand a blow, let alone counter. And I think that's such an awesome way to kind of show this is like, hey, you're not supposed to use your Bankai forever in a fight. Your Bankai is supposed to just seal the deal. So you use Shikai, you use Shikai, and then when you realize, hey, I gotta go in for the kill, this is the time, Bankai. Kokujo, Tengen, Mio, roar! And just let them know what's really good. I'm actually kind of excited. I think he's really cool when you look at, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it, because despite the fact that he's not a character that I think, enjoy playing with, even this, in a sense, has its own difficulty. So it kind of creates its own challenge of, can I stay in my Shikai state as a captain? Can I really do this? You're going to have to manage the fact that you're somewhat slow, but you're kind of tanky, so you can take a little bit of damage, you can deal a lot of damage, and you have some decent range. So, you can play at a mid-range. I would really consider him a mid-range fighter. He's not necessarily long range, but he's got some range to him. And he can sneak up on you with his attacks because his Shikai essentially just summons a sword out of thin air. And so, his techniques are not anything too, sparkling and dazzling there, but they don't need to be. They're just enough. And then you mix that with a little bit of tech, some flash steps here and there, and you're going to get yourself a really good character. He's been done very well. Tamsoft cooked here. I know this is some people's favorites, even though it's not everybody's. So I'm actually happy that they have done your boy justice. Homie got some dog in him, I know that much. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. This has been your boy Saint Irving, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.